The relationship between China and Taiwan is very complicated and sensitive. It's a story of a civil war, political separation, and ongoing tensions. In 1949, after the Chinese Civil War, the losing side, called the Nationalist Government, led by Chiang Kai-shek, fled to the island of Taiwan. They started what's called the Republic of China, ROC, there. Meanwhile, Mao Zedong's Communist Party took over mainland China and created the People's Republic of China, PRC. For many years, both sides believed they were the true government of all of China, which created a lot of political confusion. Even with this division, cultural and economic ties between mainland China and Taiwan grew stronger, especially after China opened up its economy in the 1980s. However, the main problem of Taiwan's political status remains a big issue. Beijing sees Taiwan as a province that broke away and must become part of mainland China again, using force if necessary. This idea is part of the One China policy, where the PRC claims Taiwan as its own, and this policy is non-negotiable for Beijing. On the other hand, Taipei is becoming more assertive about its own identity and independence, with many people supporting a complete separation from China. The question of Taiwan's future isn't just important for Asia, it's a major issue in the global competition between China and the United States. The US has a policy of strategic ambiguity towards Taiwan. This means they try to stop Beijing from attacking Taiwan while also acknowledging the PRC's claim over the island. Chinese President Xi Jinping has made it very clear that bringing Taiwan back under mainland control is a top goal for his time in office. In his recent speeches, Xi Jinping keeps talking about the historical and cultural connections between mainland China and Taiwan. He says that reunification is not just a political goal, but something that must happen, a key part of China becoming a great power again and fulfilling its destiny. Xi's words have become stronger, leaving little doubt that he's serious about resolving the Taiwan issue. While he prefers a peaceful solution, he hasn't ruled out using force. This tougher stance worries people in Taiwan and around the world who are afraid China might use its military to get what it wants. The Chinese military has become much stronger in recent years, particularly its Navy and Air Force. These advancements have increased concerns about China's ability to use its military power in the Taiwan Strait and beyond. Military exercises and Chinese aircraft flying into Taiwan's air defense zone have become more common, further increasing tensions. Taiwan's economy has changed dramatically in recent decades, shifting from making cheap products to becoming a world leader in high-tech industries. The key to this success is Taiwan's dominance in the semiconductor industry. TSMC, the world's biggest contract chipmaker, plays a vital role in the global supply chains for almost everything that uses electronics, from smartphones and laptops to cars and advanced weapons. Taiwan's technological skills are a major reason why it's strategically important. The island's ability to make advanced chips is seen as a protective shield against a potential attack from China. Because the world relies so much on Taiwan's semiconductor industry, any disruption to its chip production would have huge economic and technological consequences. Recognizing how important Taiwan's chip industry is, the United States and other countries have tried to strengthen their relationships with Taipei and rely less on Chinese supply chains. This has further increased tensions with Beijing, which sees these efforts as attempts to limit China's growth and weaken its position. The increasing tensions between China and Taiwan have caused serious concerns for the global economy. Because global supply chains are so interconnected, any conflict in the Taiwan Strait would have major consequences for businesses and consumers worldwide. Taiwan's leading role in the semiconductor industry makes these concerns even greater, as any disruption to chip production would have a ripple effect on many sectors. The automotive, electronics, and telecommunications industries are particularly vulnerable to problems with chip supplies. A conflict in the Taiwan Strait could lead to factory closures, production delays, and shortages of essential goods. The potential economic damage has prompted governments and businesses to reassess their risks and explore ways to diversify their supply chains. Beyond the immediate economic impact, a conflict in the Taiwan Strait would also have significant geopolitical implications. It would likely involve the United States and other major powers, raising the possibility of a larger conflict with unpredictable consequences. This potential scenario has created a new level of uncertainty in global affairs, highlighting how fragile peace is and how important the Taiwan issue is. The United States has long played a crucial role in maintaining peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. Washington's One China policy, while acknowledging the PRC's claim over Taiwan, has also committed the U.S. to providing Taiwan with the means to defend itself. This policy of strategic ambiguity has aimed to deter Beijing from taking military action while leaving open the question of U.S. intervention in the event of a conflict. The Trump administration's approach to China was characterized by a more confrontational stance, including a trade war and increased military activity in the Indo-Pacific region. Trump's unpredictability and willingness to challenge long-standing norms raised concerns about the potential for miscalculation and escalation in the Taiwan Strait. The Biden administration has sought to adopt a more predictable and multilateral approach to China, but the underlying tensions remain. The U.S.'s role in the Taiwan Strait is further complicated by domestic political considerations. There is growing bipartisan support in Congress for strengthening ties with Taiwan and providing it with additional military support. This reflects a hardening of attitudes towards China and a recognition of Taiwan's strategic importance. However, it also increases the risk of provoking Beijing and escalating tensions. The future of Taiwan remains uncertain, with a range of potential outcomes, each carrying its own set of risks and opportunities. One possibility is that the current situation continues, with Taiwan maintaining its independence in practice, while Beijing continues to assert its claim to the island. This scenario would likely involve ongoing tensions and the risk of periodic crises, but it would also allow for continued economic and cultural exchanges between the two sides. Another possibility is that China increases its pressure on Taiwan using economic coercion, military intimidation, or even a limited military operation to force Taipei to accept reunification. Such a move would be very risky for Beijing, as it could provoke a strong international backlash, including economic sanctions and military intervention by the United States. A third possibility, though less likely in the near term, is that Taiwan formally declares independence. This would be unacceptable for Beijing, which has vowed to use military force to prevent Taiwan from seceding. It would also put the United States in a difficult position, forcing it to choose between abandoning its long-standing commitment to Taiwan or risking a major conflict with China. For the people of Taiwan, the idea of becoming part of mainland China again brings up a mix of feelings and worries. While some might see it as a natural part of history and a chance to reconnect with their cultural roots, others are deeply concerned about life under the Chinese Communist Party's rule. The stark contrast between the democratic free market society in Taiwan and the authoritarian state-controlled system in mainland China fuels these anxieties. Taiwanese citizens value their democratic freedoms, including freedom of speech, assembly, and the press, which are absent or severely restricted in mainland China. The fear of losing these hard-won liberties is a major source of opposition to reunification. The Chinese government's crackdown on dissent in Hong Kong, a former British colony that was promised a high degree of autonomy under the One Country, Two Systems framework, has further heightened these concerns. The economic implications of reunification are also a subject of debate. While some Taiwanese businesses might benefit from access to the vast Chinese market, others fear being taken over by state-owned enterprises or facing unfair competition. The potential loss of Taiwan's economic autonomy and integration into China's state-dominated system is a significant concern for many. The Taiwan issue is not just a regional dispute. It reflects the larger geopolitical competition between China and the United States. The rivalry between these two superpowers is changing the global order, creating new alliances and dividing lines. The outcome of the Taiwan issue will significantly impact the balance of power in the Asia-Pacific region and beyond. If China were to successfully take control of Taiwan, it would be seen as a major victory for Beijing and a significant setback for the United States and its allies. It would demonstrate China's growing military and economic power and encourage its assertive foreign policy. This could lead to a more unstable and conflict-prone regional order, as other countries might feel pressured to choose sides or adapt to China's growing influence. Conversely, if Taiwan were to maintain its independence, it would show the strength of the US-led alliance system and the importance of democratic values. It would also send a strong message to China that its aggressive actions will face resistance. However, this scenario would likely result in continued tensions and the risk of future crises. requiring ongoing diplomatic efforts to manage the relationship. The path ahead for China and Taiwan is full of challenges. The deep mistrust and conflicting visions for the future make finding a peaceful and lasting solution extremely difficult. However, the high stakes involved make it necessary to continue dialogue and diplomacy to prevent the situation from escalating into a catastrophic conflict. One possible way to reduce tensions is to focus on expanding economic and cultural exchanges between mainland China and Taiwan. By encouraging more people-to-people contact and cooperation in areas of mutual interest, it might be possible to build trust and understanding over time. However, this approach would require both sides to put aside their political differences and prioritize common ground, which is a significant challenge given the current climate. Another approach is to seek international mediation or arbitration to facilitate dialogue and explore creative solutions. However, this would require both China and Taiwan to agree to third-party involvement, which is unlikely given their insistence on resolving the issue bilaterally. Moreover, any international effort would need the support of major powers, including the United States and China, which is not guaranteed given the current state of relations. Ultimately, the future of Taiwan depends on the choices made by leaders in Beijing, Taipei, Washington, and other capitals. A peaceful and sustainable solution will require wisdom, restraint, and a willingness to compromise. The alternative is a conflict that would have devastating consequences for everyone involved and reshape the geopolitical landscape for generations to come.